Hi, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be making some wall art. Here are the products I'm using today. You should be able to find most of these at art shops. However, one of these products, the wooden shelf, I actually purchased on Temu. This product can also be found on Shein, and they usually cost a couple of dollars. Now I'm using a modeling paste, which is normally used when you're painting. You add it with acrylics to give it texture. I find this is perfect when you're applying it to the wooden board because it gets rid of all the patterns and grooves that you can see. One thing to know, the cheaper brands tend to be, this one I'm using in particular, tend to be quite tacky and sticky, so the popsicle stick really works well when applying it. Now for the paint, you can use any brand you want. Just make sure it is at least like a medium bodied. Also, you don't need to be too fussy with this first coat. Just make sure you kind of map out where you want the sky, where you want the landscape. This first coat isn't that important. You just need to cover the white. When creating clouds, I like to use two kind of techniques. The first one is I like to dab on some white quite strong, and then I go back in with like the blue that I've used for the sky and sort of dry brush it in to fade out the white, and then I go back over again with white until I kind of like how it looks. I just wanted to know, as someone who loves using gold paint, be careful how much you use, because sometimes that gold can be overpowering against matte greens, browns. So just be careful that you kind of make sure to balance it with the right amount of green to gold ratio. I've just finished painting and I thought I should talk about the base. I've done half and half, creating a green grass area and a stone part. This was a last minute decision. I thought I would try creating a waterfall feature with resin. As a part of the display, I've decided to use Labubu, but you can use any figure or item you want. At first though, I was going to use one of the vinyl figures from the yoga series. They were a little bit too heavy and too big for the display, so I remembered that I'd bought a lafufu off Temu. Turned out to be the perfect size and weight. For this I've used a few different types of polymer clay. One of them is the Sculpt Lead Granite, I think it's called, and what I've done is normally I break pieces off and then I sort of with my hands rub it together to smooth it out, the edges, and make it more of a ball shape. And then I sort of hot glued them onto the display sides to create like the waterfall effect. For this next step, I used the resin out of one of the Christmas edition from Miniverse and mixed it in with some blue, I believe it's called sapphire color pigment. I found the resin was a little bit too old. I don't know if it dates or not, but it was quite stiff and it just didn't really work. I used a popsicle stick to spread it along the base, and then I kind of tried to put it on the stones, like make it look like it was running water, but it didn't actually really work. And here's the finished product. Thank you for watching.